Hang on. Welcome to another dev stream. I just woke up and I'm back at it. You know, got my cold brew. Let's do it. Let's go. So what I wanted to do this stream, if I don't get swamped from people giving me PRs and things like that, I haven't checked many notifications yet, so who knows what'll happen. But what I want to do this stream is start looking at a different AI architecture for our little old tscircuit.com bot. Oh, hold on, I closed things too quick. There we go. Let's go to it. Let's go to her. I don't clean up my computer before I start stream, so I'm like closing out all my YouTube tabs and stuff like that. Okay, here we go. These are our new docs, by the way. I think they're maybe 60%-ish done. Pretty close. Those SVGs take a while to load. I don't know why, but they should be cached. But yeah, it's pretty coming along. I haven't done a Lighthouse score on this yet. I probably need to do that, but I'm just pretty happy with it, actually. Anyway, so let's hit use online. And then we will go to dashboard, and our AI is kind of tucked away here, but you can click it, AI, and then we can say, connect a 555 timer to blink and LED. It's a very simple circuit. We'll constantly come back to this circuit, I think. I think we'll be talking about it a lot because it's almost like the hello world of TS Circuit. That's how I feel. The hello world of TS Circuit is not anything with a USB port. It is a blinking LED. You can see it forgets things, and we could fix these by kind of incremental prompting. So you could say, and we can also edit this code. So we can literally fix the issues this guy's having. Capacitor is missing capacitance. Even if I told it like, oh, you should rerun, it might be able to fix it. But then we got some other things. Yeah, and this is a really bad error too. Port has no matched PCB component on the LED. So that's because the LED doesn't have a footprint. So the error there should really be LED doesn't have a footprint. So we've got something we can file. Every error in TS, people are like, oh, they're like helping each other resolve errors. Every error, hey, TS Circuit family, hey, every platform has to come up with a name for the people in it. And TS Circuit family, I don't know if that's going to stick. You know what I mean? Like, I know there's a platform I use, a workout platform called Tonal. We can take a look at Tonal. I love this thing. Yeah, smart home gym. So they had to come up. They actually started saying tonal family recently because if you can't, because like tonalers, it doesn't really roll off the tongue. So but things like Peloton, they call all the members Pelotons, which might actually be like a real word. Pelotons. That might actually be what you call somebody who like swims or something. So. What I'm saying is we probably need a better name. We could probably think of one than family. It's just a little, it's a little, it's default maybe is the easiest way to put it. It's default. We can do better. Yeah, so this is a garbage error. So we'll, I can actually copy the error. That's nice. That's a nice feature. And we'll just say LED should give better error when there's no port matched and no footprint on the error component. So LED or really any component. I think it's probably going to be a fix for every component just because of the architecture. I'll put a $15 bounty on that. This one's pretty, if you make a test, you should be able to solve this one pretty easily. A lot of TS circuit issues are not that hard. A lot of them aren't too hard, even if they're in the core code base. I was actually surprised some people did some some pretty tough PRs this weekend, and I thought they were going to be tough, and they actually ended up to be pretty easy. So, just write the test, and a lot of times you'll find out the fix is pretty straightforward. Okay, anyway, so let's give this LED a footprint. Let's see if that fixes it. We're just working with our AI now, trying to fix it. 0603 is a very typical footprint for an LED, and you can use our web search. Yeah, okay, so this is the AI generated circuit. Definitely doing some weird stuff there with the pads. I don't even know how that's possible. Footprint dip, and then it tried to make it smaller. We actually should infer a better size. So that's probably another issue, honestly. Dip 8 with that pitch, you should probably infer a better size. So we can add that. The idea with those footprint strings is they should do something reasonable by default always. That's really just what they are. Just keep doing reasonable things by default. Keep adding cases to do reasonable things. So we'll say dip 8 P 1.27 millimeter should change plated hole size appropriately. And you don't have to guess the numbers there. There's standard dimensions. 1.27 is a very, it's very standard, so you don't have to guess too much. It's gonna be something that somebody has done. Yeah. Invalid. Because when you make things closer together, that kind of thing happens. All right, we filed 2 issues. Do you guys know I file like 100 issues a week? Hello TS Circuit Tribe. It's better. I actually like that a little bit better. I don't love it, but it is a lot better actually. Hey Ayush, how you doing? Thanks for all the great PRs. Appreciate it. Zohabe, what up? One Piece, hi Sevi, nice Sunday. It is a nice Sunday. I think. I just woke up. I don't know. I haven't looked outside. It could be doomsday outside. There could be zombies. You know how in every zombie movie somebody's just doing something normal and then the zombies are happening in the background? That's me. I'm literally, there's like a camera panning into me right now, doing my normal thing, panning out. There's zombies. A quick question. Why are you against TriCatch? I saw your take about dark mode and it makes total sense, so I'm here to learn more. Yeah, TriCatch is terrible. And it's because it cognitively breaks up how a user looks at it. So to understand why TriCatch is bad, you have to understand why Go did their errors like they did, Go style errors, and then why early return is really good. Okay, so we can do a quick explanation of why TriCatch is bad. Okay. So, and specifically, what's really bad is long TriCatches. That's what we really hate, is long TriCatches. A short TriCatch is tolerable, but still not great. Okay, so let's say that we want to measure the function, do some function. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to make this a little bit more fun. We're going to do different colors. Do blue, boom, do some function. Okay. And then after this, you have like a ton of code. Tons of code. All right. So this is the case of the long TriCatch here. And this goes for an if else too. By time the user has gotten down to this part, like let's make it even longer. I just want to illustrate how people actually read code. By time the user has gotten to this part, whoops. What are we even try-catching, right? What's the error? How many different errors can happen? You've got all these things, and it's so far away, right? It's so far away from your original code definition, like the do some func that's throwing the error, right? So that's why try catch is bad. But what's a better way, right? So let's talk about Go style errors. So if you guys don't know Go, how Go works is you say const, like my value, error equals do some func, and you say if error. By the way, guys, I don't really write Go that much, so I don't know if this syntax is totally right. But if error is not equal null, then you know, I can return my own error, or I can say, okay, do error handling. We'll just say that. Okay, so this is a Go style error. Look how look how nice this is, right? Like where your handling of the error is right next to the function, and you also know you have the exact error from that function. It's not like some crazy thing. So so do, you know, tons of code, but we've already handled the error, so we don't have to worry about that error handling. It's so much better, right? These are basically the same, but this one is much, much better. Okay, so that's how it works in Go, right? How do you translate this to JavaScript? It's not so easy, but you can do it. You can do it. There's a lot of libraries that do it, but like I'll show you just natively what you want to do is you want to do an early return. Is at the end of the day, what you really want is an early return. It's what's happening here. You're returning early. And you want to do this for every type of function, right? If you have any function, like, I don't know, do something, and you realize you have an invalid input, right? So let's say, oh, if not a, okay, I want to return null. It's like recursive algorithms or anything else. You want to handle those base cases as soon as possible, and now your function has like really clean access to all the variables and stuff like that. You know these things exist, right? Okay, so that's early return. So how do you take a JavaScript try catch like this and turn it into Go style? There's a couple ways, but there's a couple functions, but there's a couple patterns I think I like more than others. So one is you if you're using promises, you can do something like this. So you can say await, do some function, and then you could say if I got a result, then return result, error null. And if I got an error, then do error result null error. Okay, so this is definitely a verbose syntax, which is why people will use a library that just wraps this, and you just like, you know, wrap this up and you're all good to go. But this is basically the same as a Go style error, and you can then do the exact same thing where you say if error, okay, throw error. Maybe you just want to throw it, like maybe handle, maybe improve message. You can do lots of things here. And TypeScript is smart enough to know that your result is not null. Okay, so TypeScript can do it. So that's one way. That's a pretty good way to do Go style error handling in JavaScript. Cool. Okay, that's my TED Talk. Thanks, guys. That's why I don't like try catch. Yeah. Wow, a lot of messages. Try catch. Do you mean try accept? Get out of here, you. I don't even know what language that is. I think that's Python. I missed the hat. It's like I don't know you anymore. I have the hat right here. I literally have the hat right here. People just hate my hair. So in summary, I should return an optional error. Yeah, that's yeah. For one yeah, or a smaller try catch. There's like a million ways to solve it. There's a lot of ways to solve it in your PR. How are you? I'm good. Contribution tracker front. Can we deploy the contribution tracker front end? Yes, we can do that. Sevi, review my PR on circuit JSON and TS circuit. Okay. Now that we can deploy the contribution tracker. Thanks for the explanation. No problem. I'm gonna clip that too, because and put it in our handbook. So it's useful for me. It's not all for you. One piece. You jerk. I'm just kidding. Right. We want to deploy this. We're all merged, so I think I just need to run VC. Good to know. Super cool. I hope so. Yeah, and also if you guys are doing long if else's, same issue. Use an early return. Use an early return. Long if else's make no sense. If you have if else if, that's fine because you're giving the reader context. You got to understand that code is just communication. Code is just communication. So if you have to communicate well in your code. Sometimes you don't have to communicate well if you have a module and you have a great API boundary and you've communicated well on your API boundary. Then you don't need to communicate internals. But virtually nobody works exclusively in that context where they can just do magic in their little module. Almost everybody will need to collaborate with you. Okay, we got a failure to build. Let's check it out. Can I find module tailwind CSS/Vite? So, you know, actually, Ansh, I mentioned this, but you didn't do it. You didn't do it. But for small projects like this, I don't like to build Tailwind. So let's adjust this. So we're not gonna have Tailwind here. Sometimes I do a code review and people go, you know, I'll just ignore that part. We'll just ignore that part. But anyway, you don't need to put Tailwind here. Okay. Then let's go to your index.html file. And we'll literally, and you have the CDN. So you half did it. You half did it. Anyway, we don't need the plugin if we have the CDN. The CDN takes care of everything. You don't even need it. I could try running this locally, but you know, I don't think it's that interesting. No tip got for making front end green smiley face, green smiley face, green smiley face. Funny how those emojis become text in my view. I was wondering why you hated try catch. I will check the stream after it ends. Yeah. It's not very readable. Especially, I hate long try catches too. Plus, a lot of times when people are making a long try catch, so they're literally putting an anti-pattern into the code. They do two other anti-patterns at the same time. They're like, okay, let me see how many anti-patterns I can stack here, which is they edit the whole effing diff. I guess that's like sometimes you have to, but your diff, I now have to check every line. So the whole diff has changed, so that's annoying. But the other thing they do is a lot of times they ignore the error or they make the error message worse. And it's like, okay, great. So now everybody getting an error isn't going to get a stack. They're not going to be able to find the line of code it errored on. So yeah, I don't know. I forgot where I was going with that. Tailwind CSS. Yeah, you didn't get rid of Tailwind CSS completely. Yeah, you don't need this index file. Okay, so see, nothing is zero cost. People are like, "Oh, I did all the work." Well, did you though? Did you? All right. For simple projects, just throw in that Tailwind CDN and you're good. Like I'm saying, everyone is getting a tip, but I don't. Yeah, so I probably will not tip too many just web projects. If it's not related to TS Circuit core internals or something like that, unless I'm like really impressed with how it came together, I probably won't do it. And that's just being responsible with spending. We could play around with community stuff. No dist, no output directory named dist found after build was completed. Okay, so let's run this build locally. Look how many problems you're creating. Did you try to deploy this to Vercel launch? There is a dist directory. So what is likely happening is, you know what? I shouldn't have even merged this maybe. Let's see. Oh, no. Okay, so TSC, why are you doing this? TSC-B? You don't need that. What's going on here? Why are you doing that? Vite build, that should be fine. Vercel might not be building it or detecting that it's a Vite project, so you can just do Vercel build, bun run build. It should detect it. I think Vercel has a lot of issues detecting projects that aren't bun.lockb right now. Okay. What were we up to? All right, VC. We'll keep deploying. The other issue with JS is you don't know if a function throws. That is a problem. Yeah. And TypeScript has no way to handle that. It's probably, I would say that is the biggest weakness of TypeScript, JavaScript. They have no way to do that. They have no type safety around it. They probably never will. I think most people in the TypeScript committee or whatever would just say don't use the JavaScript error system. There's a lot of ways to override it and use functions. I didn't talk about those, but there are many ways. We write conventional JavaScript, I would say. We don't write too many. We won't have too many non-conventional patterns. Otherwise, I would use some of those frameworks. There's some really popular frameworks right now for writing why the F isn't this deploying? What the hell? No output directory named dist after build was completed. What is going on right now? Bun build, literally there's the dist directory, and then it says no output directory named dist. So debugging Vercel, with Vercel you can see the source and you can see the output. I guess if it fails you don't get output. I wish they should actually give you the output there, because how else are you gonna debug? I don't know, Anch, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I spent some time on this. Here you are asking for a tip. Kind of seems like I just lost 5 minutes. Didn't get much out of it. All right, where are we? So remove more Tailwind. That shouldn't have any impact on the site. I should check, but shouldn't have an impact. Might have an impact. Sorry if it did, but it shouldn't. Sometimes when you're using the Tailwind CDN, you want to modify some settings, or you might accidentally end up getting Tailwind 4, so you might have to specify Tailwind 3 because Tailwind 4 just came out. I did a small PR to improve the free routing CLI. Removed unnecessary container stop. Well, people are here, by the way. I'm going to New York for a couple days, so I might be nice. Awesome. But it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Dis/. I don't think so. I mean, it's possible. That is probably the, like, what the error will be at the end of the day is some kind of relative directory thing, because the front end is in a subdirectory. So, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. When I build, I get a dist directory. Oh, wait. No, the dist directory is in front end. Wait a second. What is going on here? Oh, it's probably because of the Vite route. Okay, so how you fix that is you go to settings. I don't think you can configure this with Vercel. I never understood why they didn't make this configurable, but you could just say front end /dist. So if you review my PR on circuit JSON and TS circuit. circuit JSON to TS circuit. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's my British accent. Thanks for listening. All right. CLI circuit JSON. You can't use bun for the CLI, unfortunately. Got to use node. Got to use node. Sorry, I don't make them rules. Got to use node. This is messy. Just make it lib. Normally I would recommend people use Commander, but it's such a simple script that I feel like it's fine. Yeah, it's okay. What is this test? Make a test fixture. Oh, are there already tests in this repo? Why is this called test 4? Are there already tests? There's tests. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is messy. I would hate it if people extended this. So can you make a CLI test fixture? We almost always want a test fixture, so you can encapsulate a lot of complexity into one file. Plus, like if somebody copied this test, I would actually hate it, because they like this spawn stuff is just unnecessary. Also, don't use bun. Well, yeah, you're not using the built file. It's probably fine. I don't really mind if you use bun for the test. That's fine. It's running in bun. Test run in bun. So see comments, but the CLI itself looks pretty good. Good job. Looks like someone else raised 2 PRs straight after I got mine in, but now there's a full-on fight over just 1 PR. Full-on fight over 1 PR. Oh, add CLI by com. Oh yeah, and he used Commander. Oh wow, this is quite different of an approach. Commander. Yeah, I don't love this. Yeah. This is why it might be. Yeah, he did this part correctly though. This part is definitely done correctly. To remove Commander, it would be unfortunate if using the regular library without the CLI required it. You can either, or let's say this, you should make it a dev dependency and use TSUp when bundling to include it automatically. TSUp, not TSUp-node, automatically bundles dev deps. Yeah, this PR is a little bit better, so I would maybe give this one to com. Yeah, just do 2 match inline snapshot. Just because the code is written like a bit better with Commander and whatnot. I love how the capitalization of TS circuit is completely inconsistent. I don't even know if I'm gonna be anal about it. We usually do all lowercase TS circuit. We should allow this as a parameter -- name. Yeah, comms is better, Ansh. I would leave it to com. I think his PR is better. No offense. I think I like Dude, why can't I mention this guy? I think I like comms better. I closed mine. Guess mine's not cut out for the drama. See as in description. Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people fight over one PR. I do like it when people do CLI stuff more than just web stuff, but still, do circuit stuff, guys. I think Core has the most bounties. I mean, people have done a lot of Core stuff recently, but I really wanted to get the 3D viewer working in the docks. So I was talking about our docks and how, yeah, sorry for burning your retinas, but I was talking about the docks are looking pretty good, but they don't have a 3D view yet. So I'd really like to set that up. I think I'm pretty close to being able to set up the 3D view. Dr. Sensor has done a bunch of work on it, and I looked at his stuff and I was like, I think this is fixable. I don't know. Yeah, I think he's just busy. He or she is just busy, but love to see that. Kai, what up? Isn't Kai what up it's not like a thing. Isn't that a meme? I'm trying to think what that's from. Anyway, so we were going to do some AI design. So let's jump right into it. We're going to try to improve the prompt on tscircuit.com. About 1 millennia ago at the beginning of the stream, I looked at the current TS Circuit AI. I showed it could create a circuit, but it's full of bugs. So we're going to try to do a little bit better. Let's see, Shibo, save system prompt into a file and save a reference to the file name. Let's take a look at his PR here. Save prompt. So you can save a prompt, system prompt, async data, electronics engineer. Okay, so he's now saving the prompts as data for historical archive purposes, I think. Yeah, I think it's for historical archive purposes. Okay. So we're gonna try to use a bit of this framework. We'll see. So let's run this project and I'll show you what this project is all about. So we'll go to prompt benchmarks. This is where we develop our AI. We measure how good it is. So I'll do bun run start. Oh. Always have a start command. I think this project probably has a dev. What the F? Build, test, eval, watch. Okay. So start, eval, watch. Always have a start command. It's an expectation from a DX point of view. Okay, bun run, eval, watch. So we'll run bun run start now. Cool. Test failed, waiting for changes. Let's just update our dependencies. Whoops. Okay. So it's running benchmarks in the background. So it's using my API key and wasting all my money. But basically we have these prompts here, and then it generates, I believe this is the generated code, and we can see if it passed our tests. You can see this is kind of our standard test here. Create a 555 timer with a blinking LED. And a lot of these are pretty basic, like circuit tests, audio amplifier circuit, single transistor. Yeah, there's a lot of like pretty good electrical engineering little things in here. We want to do higher level modules, so we'll get to that. I have closed my PR. Bad day. Yeah, sorry. The good news is, each PR you do, you get a little better, and PRs like that should feel like, pretty easy at this point. I don't know why. It's from Dragon Ball, King Kai. Yeah, but what is Kai what up from? Am I making that up? Nobody ever said that. Guys, how do I create my own custom AI bot? I mean, that's kind of what we're doing. First step is getting the benchmarks working. Is Anthropic still down? Is that why this is... Oh, nope, there we go. Okay, so circuit failed. Doesn't show the errors, which is unfortunate. Can we see the errors? Oh, yep, there's the output. Okay, and we got that's the same error we got online. Yeah, and then these are the tests we're running. The circuit includes a 555 timer IC, the LED blinks, and so we can actually use this to debug. You can see it got about 50% of our benchmarks correct. Okay, so that's how we're gonna be developing this AI. Can you check if the contribution tracker is deployed? Did we think of a URL that we want that to be on? Do we know? Just in time for our meeting on Wednesday, right? Contribution tracker. Okay, so contribution tracker.vercel.app. Oh. Dude, Anch, you got to test this locally, man. Or do you guys think this is my fault? I can't believe you didn't deploy this to Vercel, dude. What do you want me to spend my entire stream debugging? This is easy stuff. I know I'm being too harsh, but like, you know, I want to do hard stuff. I want to do hard stuff. Easy stuff is for easy days. Oh, I was at the wrong URL. There we go. Me being like, I'm too good for this issue. Just went to the wrong URL. Anyway, nice. So this is our contribution tracker. So this is last updated. Okay, so this is for 4 days. Oh, that's pretty cool. See, I think 16 out of 17 doesn't make sense here still. It's still my feedback. It looks pretty good, though. This is pretty cool. Me after shitting on Anch for like 20 minutes. Oh, that's pretty good. Just admiring it. I think the fraction here doesn't make sense. You want to have... There's a merged icon. So you want to have 16 merged icon, 17... Or like one open icon. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it could be parentheses, one open or something, you know? Pretty good. Why does it say 0 reviews for me? That seems like a bug, right? I just did a bunch of reviews. I think I've done quite a few reviews, so something is clearly buggy. I bet you're stealing... Not stealing, but I bet what's happening is that review, because you do so many early reviews, I bet your reviews are taking the, you know, it's like, oh, you were the first review or something like that. Which, you know, I don't care about, but we should make these numbers accurate. I think your reviews are pretty good, though. I actually like it when people do a scan over somebody's PR. I have always said to you, it's not my fault. Can we refine this if you open a bounty? If you open a bounty, can we refine this? Can we refine this if you open a bounty? I have no idea what you mean. View on GitHub. Does that work? Nice. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll deploy this to like week. Like, you know, what's going on this week? tscircuit.com. It'd be cool if you could click on people and actually see a breakdown, too. That's pretty cool. I like it. Yeah, sorry, guys. I know I'm just staring at this page, but, yeah, I don't know. Looks pretty good. I like it. I don't know what to say. I like it. I'll get it a domain. I don't know what the domain should be, though. If you have a proposal, something.tscircuit.com, I'll deploy it there. But I don't have an idea for a domain right now, so... I'll put inside of the repo the current website URL. so people can go to it if they want. We can refine it if I just understood. We can refine it if you open a bounty. So you want me to put an issue on it? You want me to break my one rule? Dude, you get PRs for your sponsorship when you do a PR. You don't have to have a bounty, right? Because you get contribution points just for doing PRs. And actually, like not that it matters that much, but there's a maximum to how many contribution points you can get from reviews. So at some point you do have to do PRs. There's a max. I think you can only get 10 tiny contributions for doing reviews. I don't know how many contribution points that equals. I also realized somebody said don't show the contribution points here, probably. Because an earlier version had it. I think if you click on them, you should be able to see it or something. Because I just want to increase the debuggability of that. I would also love it if it had attribution. So like you knew where each of the contribution points came from. It'd be easy for debugging. Just kidding, man. You know me, man. I'm just kidding. All right, punk. All right. Cool. So, you know what's funny is the current prompt works pretty well for these little. Yeah, it's like electronics engineer. Yeah. I think what I want to do is create a prompt type that's like IoT. Man. I'm kind of torn on exactly what I want to do for the AI. So our goal is still, we want this AI tab, people can type in lots of things here and be able to get different responses that fit their needs. We're building V0 for electronics. V0 for electronics, and we're measuring our benchmark capability. Welcome, Rankta. Yo, Rankta. I like it. I don't know why there's a lot of impressions this stream. I apologize. I'm exuding theater kid energy. Not that I ever was. So what I could do is create a new benchmark that's like IoT engineer. And we could see if it can create nested modules. Because that's something it never even tries to do right now. Is if you look at something like our keyboard, our 9-key keyboard, you could see the code. It's actually a little bit long. But this is kind of most of the code. And it imports these other modules. So you're sort of, not doing that much work with actual footprints or anything like that. You're just kind of putting things together. That's really what we want, an AI that's specialized in putting things together. And then we want an AI that's specialized in creating these reusable modules. I think the easiest way to do this right now is I actually modify this. I make it a little bit worse than V0. And I let people pick the expert that they want to design with, because I think that'll also stimulate a lot of ideas for people. And then we'll have a different architecture. It's not just going to be a prompt. We're actually going to use a slightly different architecture for some of these AI, because some of them have to try to search for modules to use and some of them don't. Can you also check my PRM? I don't want to get involved with that, really. I'm going to let Rashab handle the 10 kilobyte. Whatever. Just ping me when stuff is working. I don't know. Maybe it is working, but like I don't know, dude. The whole point of that issue is so that I don't have to debug, GitHub Actions and spend all day, figuring out why GitHub Actions are janky and stuff like that. Basically, whenever you're dealing with GitHub Actions, there's a lot of waiting around and all this crap. And I don't think it's a hard issue, but I filed it because I didn't want to wait around, Otherwise, I would have just done it, but I don't want to wait around for it. So TLDR, I've been pinged a lot on it, and I'm fatigued on that BR. So too many pings, too many cooks. Look at that! It actually did a transistor properly. That's crazy, actually. Wow, Shibo did a great job on this. Shibo is the main engineer behind this eval, And it's actually doing, I mean, 50% is not bad. It's not bad at all. And then in this case, like this error is super non-obvious. It's just a bad error. We just created a bounty for this. So can't blame it on this one. It's a TS circuit problem. Let's keep debugging. Why is this failing? Yeah, it's the same. I think that's the same error. Has no, oh, it's a little different. Port name input has no parent source component. Yeah, you can't have ports in here. I didn't even know port was a valid element. That might be a prompt issue. I don't know why it thought port was a valid element. Although I like that syntax, but not for a board, for a subcircuit. Huh. Interesting. That's pretty good. I like that. Inspired by AI. I had a whole different plan for that syntax. Is that a good idea? Sorry, I'm like, yeah, that's not a bad way to do it. I'm not going to think about it too hard. You know what? I'll make an issue. Just so that we remember. So we have to change this slightly because it doesn't make sense on a board, but it does make sense on a subcircuit. So why I like this is sometimes you want to have kind of an abstract module, and this is a really good case, like RC low-pass filter, and you just want to have an input and output for that circuit. So this is a really nice way to do that, where somebody can just say, oh, I want the input of the RC low-pass filter. So I really like that interface. So port should be allowed on subcircuits to expose nets. To expose nets or, ports to connect to, or for higher level subcircuits. Yeah, I do like that. I don't know how to implement that one. I'll put a bounty on it, but I kind of don't know how to implement it. P.S. I don't know how to implement this, so it's probably hard. Do not start here. All right. What is this, Sevi? This is prompt benchmark. What's its use? We're going to incorporate this into snippets so that the AI is better at generating circuits. We're gonna try to do some stuff with AI. I'm really splitting time between like 10 things right now, but I do know what I need for March. So I'm doing a startup accelerator in like 15 days. I have no idea how it'll affect my availability. I know 1 week, one day a week, I'll probably not be able to stream, like a Wednesday or a Tuesday or something. If it's a Wednesday, yeah, we'll see. But anyway, so I'm doing a startup accelerator, and I want to be able to put myself in the best possible place for that accelerator. So to do that, some features that are like really easy to demo should be available, and AI is one of those features that I want to be available. The reason why AI is such a nice feature is because like otherwise you kind of have to teach people how to use TS circuit, and with an AI you can kind of skip it. You can say, oh yeah, so what do you want, and then you can kind of learn it on the fly. AI is just really good for learning, right? I think everybody here uses AI for learning. Okay, so we got 0% on this one. Unsupported component type, silkscreen text. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, so that really seems like a prompt issue. Silkscreen text, because there should be no dash. So I think Shiba and I talked about this one. I think the reason it does this is because of the way that the components are given to it. So if we look at the prompt benchmarks repo and we try to find this prompt, by the way, I'm not in this repo very often, not as often as I should be. So let's see what. So he's got different prompts. It looks like there's a prompt from January 25th. Oh, there's a couple. Which prompt is being used though? Oh, wait. There's literally an error in the prompt. Okay, well that's an easy fix. So we can rerun with that fix. Why Huh. I'm kind of surprised that that's in there. Are these not tested? Wow. I didn't expect it to be like an actual prompt error. Okay, well. Let's rerun. Oh, it's already rerunning. Every time I save, I think. What is this? What is Startup Accelerator? Face green smiling. What is that emoji? I can only wonder. A Startup Accelerator is a thing you go to and they help you do financing and so raise more money. They also help you like make connections, get customers, stuff like that. So it's to accelerate your company. It's to make your company grow faster in whatever metric you want. So what I would like to do is have demos pretty ready to go because you talk to a lot of people. You want to have those demos available. All right, we're going to wait for this new prompt. We're going to see if we improve this a little bit. And then I think I want to create an IoT engineer. Or maybe what I'll do is I'll create a Pico engineer because that'll be pretty easy. Well, I don't know. I think we have to create a general purpose one. So if you think about how this keyboard is made, it like imports these things, right? So we talked about this a bit on Discord, but we basically want to have the AI generate this stuff, like generate a board like this where it imports things, and then go and generate any dependencies that don't exist that it generated. Can you check TIA Circuit PR 512 README cool images? TIA Circuit. I don't know why I bountied that. I'm done bountying README issues, but let's see if somebody was able to do it. Hey, nice job. Yeah, not bad. Nice job. Much better. Much better. Somebody no offense to them, but somebody just like put these in like they like made them 3D. They like tried to make the existing ones cooler. And this one shows you actually understood the product. You actually know what the product is and what a cool image is like to our users and stuff like that. How did you even get this to work? This is so... Wait a second. Oh, I shouldn't merge this. Dude, look at your header. How did you... Is this fake? Why does your header say basic resistor? Oh. Why does your header say basic resistor? Oh, it kind of ruins it for me. You should just cut out. You could just cut it out. You should I already merged it, but you should cut out that top part. You don't want to signal that things don't make sense in your README. Oh. Anyway, good job. I was like, oh, this signals you know the product, and then I found a bug when I looked closer. Look at that. We just increased to 71% with that little change. Let's see if we can get if we can find any more easy wins. Okay, create a simple audio amplifier using a single transistor. Cannot find port for selector.t1. Did you forget to include the pin name? Search components transistor, which has ports pin 1, pin 2, and pin 3. Cannot find port for selector .t1. Let's see. It's probably in a trace. T1 pin 1. So I think the issue here. Yo, Arn, what up? Good to see you. Thanks for all the PRs. We're doing some AI prompt engineering using the Eval Lite framework from our good friend. I forget his name. Shoot, but he's that big TypeScript guy. I shouldn't forget his name. I forgot it though. Matt Pollock. He made this framework. It's great. It's the best one. It's by far the best. So use it. Okay, so with T1, it really is just guessing what these pins are, which sucks. And then we see this flag here, decoupling for .t1, which doesn't make sense. It would have to be like .t1 output. But it is, AI is always very interesting because this technically is kind of an acceptable syntax. Nice. I'm trying to make a text to CAD thing. We'll try it for that. Oh, nice. Yeah, text to CAD. What are you using? OpenSCAD or JSCAD? You can use our framework, JSCAD Fiber, which I think, if you're familiar with React, could give you a boost. If you don't think it helps you, don't use it. But JSCAD Fiber is pretty cool, and AI can generate JSCAD Fiber, a little bit. So might be worth giving it a go. I would love to see more contribution there because, basically TS Circuit includes a 3D CAD framework inside of it called JSCAD Fiber. There's already a JSCAD. We're JSCAD Fiber. And I think it has a lot of potential if we extend JSCAD to add a constraint system and stuff like that. OpenSCAD, but considering JSCAD, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like JSCAD that much. Manifold is really fast, so a lot of people like Manifold now. I don't like OpenSCAD too much, but there's a lot of cool tools that people are building with OpenSCAD. So, but I don't like custom languages. I don't see the point. Like React is a great declarative paradigm. Basically, like more languages should support declarative paradigms on top of them. And type right now, the only one that exists is really React, but in the future, others will exist. Okay, so decoupling for .t1 is the line that's giving us an issue. I think for this to work, to improve this, we'd have to... Yeah, we kind of have to give it more examples or explain that there are different selectors available for things like a transistor. But I actually don't know what a transistor has if it was implemented properly. So let's take a look. I've never created a transistor in TS Circuit because it's not that new of a feature, but I just haven't had a need to. So we'll say transistor type equals npn, name equals q1. I haven't seen transistors with the name T that often. I think it's usually Q, but I could be wrong. We have to give it a footprint. So I don't know what a good footprint for a transistor would be. Let's take a look at the schematic though. So the schematic seems to be okay. It's not rendering really well though. Huh. That's interesting. I don't know why that's not rendering well. So let's go over here. Let's create an issue for that. Should be an easy one. Transistors are not rendering properly. Missing arrow head. And we should also check to make sure that this is not a problem with the symbol itself. So if we look up transistor in our symbols library, Yeah, it looks like a problem in the schematic symbols library. So I don't know how this got merged, but somebody didn't close their symbols. It's actually very disappointing. Somebody just did not finish it. That's very disappointing. Transfer. GitHub's transfer button. We have too many repos, so it's a little slow. All right, there we go. Okay. Fix for all transistor symbols. That kind of stuff, it just makes us look like shit, guys. Like I'm showing it off and people are like, why is your symbol like that? It's like, it's not connected. That's a different issue. That has to, I'm actually not sure because it looks like that's like, I don't know, whoever did the transistor symbols, you kind of took a shit on the project just a little bit. I appreciate you, but you done messed up because it's almost more effort to go in and fix all those little things. Where's the care of the craft, I made the transistor, says Anj. Sorry, Anj. But you're making us look really bad. I wish it was correct. Yeah. Because it just makes us look bad. Dude, I go and I show the product to people. Some of those people give us money. And if I do a transistor and it looks like crap, they're like, they can't even do something like a transistor right. It like, you gotta really care, man. You gotta care a lot. Every little thing matters. People do these little UI fixes. They're like, oh, I'm changing the header or something like that, and they wonder why I don't merge it. It's because if you were to introduce a thing that was slightly off, it's actually a very big deal. And unless you've been contributing for a long time, and I know that your work is impeccable, then that stuff really matters. Like those little offsets just say, it signals to people that it mostly signals that I don't have a sense of like design sense and stuff like that. And for me, I have to have a design sense, a product sense, like all of those financial operating stuff. Like otherwise people don't give me money. It's because the schematic symbol is not proper at all. Like the project or the symbol, just the data. Yeah, maybe just redo the symbol. That's what's so annoying about it is like now you got to kind of redo the whole thing. It's like we should have never accepted the first version. It really was a step backward, not a step forward. Not to be too dramatic, but so it says invalid footprint function got HC. I don't know what HC is supposed to stand for. So can I copy this code out? They should really allow you to copy this code out, huh? Can't copy the code. Put a little copy button up there. I should ping Matt. Eval lights. Let's go to the eval light repo and I'll file it. Copy code button on code blocks. This is something I have to do when looking at code samples. I think it'd be nice to make it easier to copy. Let's say I have to copy code samples when looking at AI output with a small icon. Okay. Just file in an issue, You're helping people if you file issues. And let me give them an example of what that looks like. So what is that button? Is that a format button? Oh, that's like a line wrapping button. I'm a little confused. Some PR is approved by you, then should I merge that? If a PR is approved by me, should I merge it? Depends on the repo. If you're a code owner, for sure. What repo are you talking about? Sometimes you can. Sometimes I might be waiting on other people's reviews. It really depends on the context. Sometimes it requires multiple reviews. A lot of times I'll say like, oh, I'm going to defer. This looks okay, but I'm going to defer to somebody else. I won't always give an approval on that, just to make it pretty clear. How a code sample looks on Docusaurus. Hey, okay. I did it. I did it. So now we've got this issue where it thinks a footprint HC exists. So the reason I wanted to copy this is I'm trying to figure out what the hell it's talking about. What does it think HC is? What is HC? What's it called? HC 49. Because we're not always just trying to, like, AI kind of has, as we've seen, AI kind of has product ideas. So we want to make it so that if, like, AI is like a really average developer. So if the average developer thinks that, maybe it's worth considering. Okay, so it's a standard footprint. Oh, okay. So we'll create that on Footprinter. Look how many problems we have, guys. Give that a $12 bounty. Create HC 49 footprint. Don't trust Claude. Find a diagram, but that's the idea. Some people ask me to merge, so I'm like, first ask you, what's the repo? We can talk about it. What we just need to do, I call it calibration. When you're working with a bunch of developers, you have calibration and you kind of get a sense of like, okay, when is it okay to do this? And then after you do a little bit of informal calibration, sometimes you have mistakes and then you build a framework around those mistakes. But like, it's kind of hard for me to say. I don't know. I don't remember the approval, so I don't know how to advise you here. But if you give me the approval, I can help. What else do we have here? Improve error. What a bad issue title. Please make better issue titles. This is what AI sees and how I track features. The issue title is super important. He's probably still in the stream. I fixed the cool image header issue. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I was very happy on that PR, and then I went back to compliment you, and I got very sad. Why is the quality of this PR kind of look... Oh, it's because I'm super zoomed in. Yeah, that's probably fine. Thank you. Thank you for fixing. What's the new AI architecture? We haven't even gotten to that part yet. We already did really good work. I mean, we increased this from 50 to 71, which I'm like, it's pretty good. And then we found out we have some bugs that can probably get this guy to 90%. But the new architecture is we want to support imports. Support... well, okay, so we want to do a 2-layer AI. Let me just draw it out. Okay, so old architecture. This will help me think through it too. All right, old architecture, new architecture. So it's basically a one shot. think if people didn't realize, the stream title is like half bait because I think people are like, other than like possibly switching to DeepSeek, I'm not going to, there's not like a new AI that came out that I'm going to be using. We're basically just doing prompt engineering. So somewhat bait. Sorry about that, but you got to do what you got to do. I mean, look, guys, this subscriber count is not going up day by day. P.S. Sign up for tscircuit.com, guys. End of the month. If you're not signed up, I think I got like 10 subscribers recently per stream, but that's roughly how much it goes up by, 5 to 10 each stream, which is incredible. I don't even know how people see this, but anyway, that's hence the baity titles, as I am constantly optimizing for 2 versus 4. Yeah, we probably will use. Okay, so I'll write that down. So old architecture, Sonnet. So I'm not 100% memeing. We're probably gonna switch to DeepSeek R1, and honestly, I would love to stick it out with Anthropic, but and I will personally, but well, to some extent, I think I'll stick it out, as in they're gonna have a really great model really, really soon. I think clickbait is noble. Yeah, I don't know how the narrative of YouTube changed, but clickbait did become like okay at some point. It was like frowned upon, and then people were like, ah, fuck it, we give up, and now everybody's doing it. Really, it's just the Western what'd you call it? Overton window shifting, something like that. We just rationalize the world changing in ways we don't like. Anyway, the architecture is one shot. We have one prompt. We one shot to TS Circuit code. So, or maybe what I'll say is we have system prompts, user prompts, one shot, and we get TS Circuit code as output. Is that 100% correct? Let me just make sure, because we did work for a while on automatic fixes. So let me just make sure that automatic fixes are not incorporated here. Okay, so we got we're not doing automatic fixes for this one. So we'll talk about a couple architectures. So that's our old architecture. I'm just going to make a note, error correction architecture. And this one is a little bit more of a loop. So you one shot to TS Circuit code, and then you kind of go like this. You say passes. And then if it fails, we'll say passes, done, fails. We send it to a correction prompt. Sorry, I'm just playing with Excalidraw at this point. How do I thought I could like move this. Anyway, if it fails, we do a correction prompt, and then we do a little bit of a loop. Oh boy. I'm never going to get it to do what I want. All right, we'll do straight arrow. Fails. Correction prompt. Say error. Correction prompt. And then we regenerate the TS Circuit code. Okay, so that's the error correction architecture. We don't do this automatically right now. And the reason we don't do it automatically is we actually just prompt the user, and that way the user doesn't have to kind of wait for the AI to self-correct and do that whole loop. So that's our error correction architecture. And it's nice. It's not bad. It's not bad. So I'm going to sleep. Last thing I want to ask you, I got an increase $20 if every month the maintenance tracker is at 95% stable every month. Yeah, as long as it stays up there, you're going to get it for as long as we do that maintenance thing. As long as tscircuit.com is kind of an active project. TS Circuit kind of chooses where each component goes using AI. Are you talking about layout, like how we lay out the actual circuit board? Trying to find a. I like this 9-key keyboard. So the locations are tricky. We don't have a good way to do layout right now. I have some hacks in mind with like almost like pre-made layouts, stuff like that, where the AI can use like basically a pre-made layout with all the locations. But yeah, I have some hacks in mind for that, but AI isn't good at laying out. We're working on layout algorithms, but it's a forever task. It's really hard. So we mostly care about AI generating a circuit that works and not laying out the PCB. Anyway, okay, so that's our old architecture. Let's draw some boxes. Let's make it aesthetic. We'll say old architecture, error correction architecture. And then let's do our new architecture with DeepSeek R1. Not that it really matters that much because we're really talking about architectures. We're not talking about like what prompts you use. You can always like, we could try it with DeepSeek or whatever. We can use the same prompts or slightly tweak the prompts. Seeing you use Excalidraw clips, wonders what software you use on your daily basis to take notes. I mean, if you zoom out, oh no, did it get deleted? Sad face. Wow. I used to have like thousands of notes in here. I think it might have gotten cleared out. That's crazy. Maybe I accidentally did like a select all. But yeah, I usually just do them in Excalidraw. And, and then I use Slack. I use DMs to myself for like things that I need to search for. But yeah, TS Circuit is active always. My personal wish. I become dead, no problem. If TS Circuit does not, okay. I think I'm just saying I could die, and as long as TS Circuit lives, I would die happy, and that is a noble sentiment. All right, so with that, let's talk about the new architecture. So what I want to do is there's a new article out called Designing Electronics from Scratch. And what I'd like to do is for it to employ this 5-phase system, but break it down to 2 phases because we be lazy. I see I do the same with WPP. What is WPP? WPP, I don't know what that is. WPP. So what I want to do with this architecture is say there's a system phase and like a wiring phase. Let's say system phase, chip phase, and wiring phase. Okay. It's going to sound weird, but stick with me. Stick with me. The first part, when you're designing, you have this requirements analysis. I'm going to skip over this for now. That is like a meta query. I'm just going to skip over that. The next part is we create a system diagram. So this is an example of a system diagram, right? So we want an AI to basically create this diagram in the system phase. So system phase diagram. Oh, everything's going to change now. All right, so we'll call this system phase system prompt. Unfortunately, kind of a reused term, system. But so we do system phase to not generate a diagram, but to generate TS Circuit code using imports. Okay, so the TS Circuit code using imports says like it literally makes up imports. It says like I'm gonna import from here, whatever. I'm gonna make this up. Actually, there's a couple ways to do this. Sorry. The whole point of the stream is to kind of think this through. So what if we did a system phase diagram? We asked it to make this, and then we asked it to find the imports or whatever. That might be a little bit better. So TS circuit code with imports. I'm going to need whole new, let's call it the system diagram system prompt. So it doesn't even know about TS circuit when it's doing that system diagram. Then it does, I'm going to take out all these one shots. It's obvious. I'm back, baby. Just spent a week using Cursor. I didn't know you went, Goldosty. I didn't know we ever spoke. It's truly a I don't think of you sort of moment, but you can. So anyway, you were you were using Cursor. Interesting. Okay. Never heard anyone using, what is it called? Cursor? Never heard of that. Oh, WPP is WhatsApp. Why is it called WPP? Oh, okay. I can see it. I can see it. Okay, so then we do TS circuit code with imports. So this becomes an input, and then we also have, we'll say, let's call it the root, or let's call it the board system prompt. Okay, so for creating the part that is the board. Okay, user prompt and diagram. So it's going to take that diagram, and these together will create the TS circuit code with imports. The more steps you add to your pipeline, they say that the more buggy your stuff gets. The other thing I want to do, oh boy, I might really be overcomplicating it now, but I think you could have another phase here. Hey, I'm gonna overdo it. Find existing relevant imports. Okay. Yeah, we're really doing it now. We're really doing it. Okay. So it's literally fed all of these things. Hopefully, because it's just adding all of these things together, it is still okay. But then you get your TS circuit code with imports. Okay. So now you kind of know what you're gonna, now it kind of knows what it needs to make, because it has all the imports, and some of them it made up. So it kind of has all the imports, but it knows it also has to create imports. So let's say that, it imports the PicoW from something that already exists, but let's say it's going to, sorry, this is behind my head. So the prompt will be something like, build me a board that can measure CO2 humidity and can connect to Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Yeah, it'll be something like that. Or somebody will say, build me an IoT humidity sensor, right? Or like, build me something that tracks my shower time. That's something I want. So build me something that tracks my shower time, and then it does the system diagram and all of that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, quite complicated, but the thing that I think will make it still kind of work is hopefully we're kind of adding all of this together. So we're really just refactoring the prompt. This whole first part is mostly refactoring the prompt. Shower time is a bit out there. I like it. It will require to reason a bit. Well, I mean, sound and humidity, I think, is probably, really just sound to know if a shower is running. I think you could probably do it. And then you could do on-device processing. A shower makes a pretty distinct sound from a frequency perspective, I think. I think it's very noisy, but it is distinct. Maybe it's not relative to like a hairdryer or something, but humidity would help. Because what else makes the room both wet and is noisy? But yeah, it might need something a little bit more. It does require some reasoning. Yeah. Okay, so TSCI custom dot and I don't know, humidity sensor, something like that. By the way, during this system diagram phase, it's done it's not shown here, but it should do part selection as well. So system phase diagram includes part selection. And we found most people are finding that AI is pretty decent at popular part selection, but we actually have APIs for this too. So we could, if we really wanted, we could do chip selection from GLC PCB because we have an index on their inventory. So we could do that from GLC PCB, so derived, auto-derived imports. It's actually a pretty good idea because we know if somebody imports from, we can add it in here, import, let's say, I don't know, CO2, like some CO2 ASD123, right? Some random module. We could say that's from TSCI/JLC auto JLC. I don't want to sound too official. Auto JL. Sorry, it's behind my head again. Auto JLC dot like CO2 ASD123. So we would know we can automatically generate it anytime you have auto JLC in there. You don't have to do a fully custom generation. Okay. So at this phase, it kind of wires your board up at a high level, but you still have some missing imports. So you have generate missing imports, and this is what I call the chip prompt, chip system prompt. And this is where it creates chips for you. So that's like there's basically a dedicated AI for chip generation. Dedicated chip generation AI. As ChatGPT, I want to build an IoT device that can measure my shower time. What should I use? And it came up with good stuff. Yeah, it's really good. And O1 is really good. It can do schematic reviews, stuff like that. So I think there's a ridiculous amount of promise, but nobody has done the pipeline yet. So hopefully we're the first people. Well, hopefully hopefully somebody does it. We don't have to be the first, but I think something like this is probably the right pipeline. And then okay, so you generate missing imports, and you do the same error phase that you did before. What I might do is just say we literally, if I move this around, let's just copy this out. I'm feeling quite lazy. So we'll say TS circuit code plus custom generated imports, and we're just doing that error correction phase. This goes here, and then this goes here. So that is conceptually the system to build out. Pretty big diagram. I'll post on Discord. We should probably have a little bit of a I don't know, probably like a RFC talking about, yeah, using ESP32. Yeah, it's really good at suggesting popular things, which is what people should be using because those are generally available from turnkey manufacturers. So I think it all works out. From Stream, the new AI architecture. Just gonna paste this guy. Okay, and I hate to bail, but I have to do something at 10:30. So it's an early cut, but at least I accomplished the thing I wanted to do, which was mostly to draw out this architecture. And then we also improved like 20% on the existing electronics prompt, and we found a bunch of errors and things that should exist from this AI. So Actually, very productive stream despite not doing the AI part. Yes, I'm sorry. I know. I show up, I go away. These short streams, what am I doing? It's basically a feature-length movie, though, an hour and a half. I mean, it's a movie a day. Come on. Better than a movie a day. A movie where you can, I don't know, hear my voice.